G'day my friends, Marty here from Marty's Garden with another video for you. Something that's very interesting, very eye-opening, I believe, to do with cash. Lots of stuff going on in the news lately. The government, something to do with cash, trying to keep cash in line. And also the banks talking about when we go to the teller or we go to take out bank, a withdrawal fee of like $3. Now, I've got some other things I want to talk about other than just cash, because I've got something placed in my heart about it that I think is a way to really future forward think about this, and a conversation that I really believe that you guys want to have. Many of you, including me, are concerned about cash. I like cash. I like using cash. I use digital and I use cash for different reasons. And I don't want to get too much into it right here about that, but I've got some elderly friends and they cash up every week or whatever, or fortnight, and they distribute it out that way. And what I like about cash is the fact that if you've got a $50 note and you go and spend it somewhere, say for example your local ma and pa shop, which hardly exists anymore, or just somewhere like maybe the local butcher. Let's use that one, because I love going to the butcher and supporting the butcher now, more so than the duopoly. And he's got $50 cash. Now, someone comes in and they've got, say, a whole lot of eggs they want to sell. They go, can you sell these eggs for me up on the shelf, Or are they coming in regularly and doing that? And it's a little cash business. It's not worth, putting through the whole system and all that. It just helps them stay afloat and stay ahead and keep out of this crisis that we're talking about. A little sideline, so to speak. And he goes, yeah, sure. I'll buy 5 dozen for $50. So he just gives them the $50 that I just gave him. And they go, great. They give him the eggs, right? Now that person who's selling the eggs has got $50. An example might be a birthday present or a birthday or something coming up. I don't know what to buy them for a birthday. I'll give them $50 and I'll put it in a card and they can buy whatever they want. Better than a gift card, right? It's $50. Has some value. I really love that about cash, and I believe it keeps things alive. Now, as I said, I use digital as well. Sometimes I don't have any cash with me. It's faster. I've got some money in an account and I'll just use my card and boom, boom. Many people are using their phone, their watches. The technology is just moving really fast. And I've been watching, and I know you have been too, the banks are just disappearing. I've got a friend who works in a local bank, and I said, this is like the last bank in town here in Mullumbimby. Is this one going to stay open? She goes, yeah, if we can get all the loans that are required and we meet that demand to keep the store open or the bank open, we're going to stay open. If not, it'll be closed next year. And so you've got to go to the post office to do all your banking, and there's this big line running out because the post office does a lot more than it used to do. And I just watched, even some of the ATMs have disappeared. They really don't want us using cash. And the more you research into it for banks, right, they want us to go more digital. It just costs more money to move banks around. And the guys that drive around the big armored trucks and stuff like that, AmGuard, I think they're called. Apparently they're sort of having trouble staying afloat because there's not as many banks around and all that type of stuff. So they've got to punch money in to get money from somewhere to keep AmGuard afloat. It's really not looking good as far as the future of cash goes down the line, because the banks, they just don't want it. They want us to go digital. And that's a whole other story, because it looks as though we're going to move into let's not talk about CBDCs. That's not something to talk about just yet, but it is something that's possibly coming our way at some stage, and it freaks me out even more. But let's talk about something else here. Let's talk about trading. Now, I was watching another video recently, and I don't want to get too much into different videos here and there, but I was speaking about sort of the future of what's coming ahead for us and different trading possibilities. Now, there's some shows on TV and YouTube and things like that where people swap and flip and stuff, yeah? And so they might go, I've got a bike. Will you swap it for, say, your go-kart or your lawnmower, and the person doesn't need the lawnmower. They've got two of them for some reason because grandpa passed away or something and left them with a lawnmower, and they got two, and they're going, oh yeah, but my daughter really needs a bike. So there's no transition of cash going through, and it's a swap of value, right? Someone needs something for something else. And so we have this exchange of value. And this is where I'm getting to, is exchange of value. We need to come up, as this sort of whole thing expands out and changes on us, and cost of living just droning down on us and things like that. We need to start thinking about exchange of value a little bit differently, and how money or exchange of value plays a role. Because for the economy to do really well, and for us, for our living standards to come up, there's got to be, like, you know how, let's put it this way, Bonds in Australia used to be in Australia. They make really cool undies and t-shirts and singlets and things like that. And it was an Australian-made company. It was a really big company. They used to do really well, really popular, good brand. People loved and trust the product, good product. Then it got sent off to China. I think it might have been 10, 15 years ago or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But the older crew that are my age and stuff, you would know what I'm talking about, right? And then some of the products come back and I was like, this isn't as good. This isn't as good as what it used to be. I'm like, oh, you know, it's a little bit cheaper maybe. I don't know. Or is it the same price? Not sure. But I used to be proud to buy those products. I was like, yeah, this is made in Australia. And I didn't know so much when I was younger then that, you know, that created jobs and, you know, created, you know, economy within Australia. And when we produce goods, we can then, you know, have our own, you know, it just produces, it keeps Australia productive, which keeps Australia rich. And our production's really, really been falling down. So here we get back to the store of value again, how we can become productive in our places. Like, I feel like I'm being really productive with this garden here, which I really, really love and is starting to grow great, is the Victory Garden. And I'm able to, as soon as people walk past down the street, I'll be handing out food, going, hey, come and get some stuff, and, you know, and like, and give away some plants and have extra food, and we can do it on the show and show people how to grow food. But there's a store of value in that, right? Now I could exchange something for a pot plant. I could exchange something for maybe a whole lot of beans, some cucumbers and things like that. It actually becomes quite valuable. And you're thinking, yeah, I get what you're saying. That's been around for a very long time. But someone reminded me in the comments, they said, Marty, you got a tomato, right? Inside that tomato, there's, say, 50 seeds. Now, your tomato plant just grew 100 tomatoes, say a cherry tomato, right? Or 20 big ones. And you've got those seeds in there. You can go and plant those seeds, and you end up with 50 plants from one tomato. It's just, it's value that is grown, and then you can actually grow those seeds, and you've got something ongoing productive, and you could start selling those plants, like on Marketplace, out on the street. You could decide, I don't want to sell them, I want to trade them, I want to swap them, I want to give them away, whatever you feel that's in your heart to do with that. But it becomes a tradable thing. Now, I know this discussion needs to go way, way further than this. So I've been talking about, you know, the cost of living crisis and becoming more like a homesteader, buying in bulk and making up things and drying stuff and preserving stuff. And we've had amazing comments on this channel right through that, covering that. And I'm still learning a lot about that myself in the process. I just grow a lot of food, so we have more than we need. And basically I don't have to do that so much because I'm blessed to be able to grow year round. But I still want to learn that trade, those skills, to protect myself and also to teach others. And then the next step, once we learn how to do those things, is creating store of value, because you might be able to grab this produce that you're growing, turn it into something else, some type of product. You're adding value to that product and creating more value to it. So say, for example, you could turn your lemons into lemonade like the kids do out on the street, or some jams or some pickles and things like that, and you can trade with that. I know this sounds a bit far-fetched. I'm forward thinking, really forward thinking into the future, and I'm hoping that you can forward think with me on this, because it's a discussion that I believe we need to have down in the comments. Now, this video may not be so popular. It might just go to the moon. People care about cash. They care about what's coming up in the future. I care about you, and this needs to be spoken about. But just remember, there's lots of different types of stores of value. Things are changing and going to change really fast. We need to have this conversation, I believe. Anyway, have a great day. Happy gardening. God bless. And I'll see you at the next video real soon. Bye for now.